says third time's a charm. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello, and hello, Disturbinites.
Yes.
It has been quite a while since we've actually recorded an episode. It's been, I think, at least a couple weeks, or maybe
Probably my fault.
Oh, well, you have been sick for a while.
Yes, I was sick for a good 2 weeks.
Yeah, and we didn't have anybody lined up to come into the studio and do an episode. We had some plans to do some other additional Christmas episodes, but we didn't get around to them, which is all right. Sometimes, you know, when you're just starting out.
Save that for next year.
Yeah, save it for next year. So how are you guys doing? Did you have a good Christmas? Did you have a good Happy New Year's? Did you tie one on that you regretted? As for Jen and I, things were pretty low-key.
The most low-key.
Yes.
New Year's.
Yeah, it was pretty low key, but the one great thing about it is it was Tuesday, and for us, Tuesday usually means
Tacos, baby.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday. So we were actually able to celebrate the new year.
We made the good tacos.
We made the good tacos. We didn't buy crispy taco shells. Jen makes the most wonderful taco shells ever.
It's true.
Yeah, we just buy them at the
corn tortillas.
The corn tortillas, and then you fry them in oil.
I do.
And you shape them appropriately.
They're magical.
The little boats to hold the beef and
the
cheese.
Receptacles.
Yes, the receptacles of everything that you put in tacos. But they are absolutely fabulous, and we were able to enjoy those. And guess what? We had to drink. Of course, with taco.
Palomas.
Yeah, it was kind of.
It was a great New Year's Eve.
Yeah, as far as like hanging out at home.
Yeah.
Didn't we watch a couple of movies? I think we watched the.
I highly enjoyed it. I mean, yes, it was low key, but sometimes you got to have that.
Yeah, we watched. What was it? The Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah,
the first and
2.
Yeah, the first and second episodes.
That was my idea.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun to hang out. And then Carter joined us.
I was kind of still sick, so that was the reason for staying in.
Yeah, you're still just kind of fighting it off a little bit.
I know. It's mostly gone, just a lingering cough. Sorry, guys.
But anyway, we came down, and our Carter came down to watch the Seattle Center, the Space Needle fireworks, and wah, wah, wah.
Too windy.
Yep, too windy, no fireworks at the Space Needle. And they just showed this light show, I think, of some sort.
Pathetic.
So it was pretty sad.
2020 was rung in with a whimper.
It was definitely for Seattle. But hey, we didn't even watch the ball drop. We missed it.
We were too
completely.
late.
Yeah. So no balls dropping for us. So anyway, wow.
But happy 2020, everyone.
Yeah, happy 2020. I'm really looking forward to what this year is going to bring for us. And, this is an opportunity for us to say kind of goodbye to 2019 and all the fun things that happened during 2019 that we want to kind of just go over with you guys. You might find this interesting. You might not find it interesting. But for us, it's more just kind of like putting it on tape or digital file or whatever you will. As just
posterity.
For posterity, just kind of a memory for us of all the fun things that happened to us in 2019. Hey, Jen, what are you drinking?
What you drink?
Hey, what you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a salted caramel whiskey concoction that you make. I don't know that it's got a name.
I don't know either, but
it's fantastic.
And what number is this of yours tonight?
Be quiet. I mean, it's the third one, but some doubles.
Yeah, so we put some what is it? Crown Royal salted caramel whiskey, which we bought 8 bottles of that last year
because we thought it was limited edition.
And it was, and I haven't seen.
It was then.
Well, I didn't see any of them out this year at all on the shelves.
Okay, so we were justified.
Sure.
And then the apple.
No, there's no apple in this. This is the butterscotch.
Caramel and butterscotch.
Yeah. So butterscotch schnapps, cream, and salted caramel whiskey.
So it's totally keto.
Yeah, very keto. Which is another goal of 2020, right? We can talk about resolutions towards the end. Yeah, sure.
And you are drinking?
Well, a friend of mine at right before Christmas dropped off a fantastic bottle of whiskey for me called Angel's Envy. So I'm enjoying Angel's Envy whiskey tonight. That was a really nice Christmas gift.
Really? From
Mike Macris.
Nice.
Yeah. So Mike dropped that off. and I'm drinking old fashioned, using that particular whiskey. And then as a Christmas gift, you got me some wonderful simple syrups from this company called Firewater. And this happens...
Shop local,
right? We love supporting small local businesses. And so did I mention that it's a company called Firewater? Yeah. And this is an orange cranberry simple syrup. I put it in a mason jar. It's absolutely wonderful. Adds a little bit of different flavor to the old fashions.
Very cool.
So yeah, that's what I'm enjoying tonight.
Nice.
Yeah. And the Angel's Envy, that's the first time that I've ever had this whiskey. So it's actually pretty nice. Very nice and smooth. Very comparable to the Four Roses single batch whiskey that I usually drink.
Cheers,
so
honey.
Cheers. Clink. There's the clink. Here's the sip.
I don't go for the audible sip like you do. But it's a great drink.
Yeah.
Very wintry.
Yours is very wintry?
I think so, because of the cream.
Yeah, that's true. Mine's kind of year-round.
Yes.
Yeah. So goodbye 2019, huh?
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah. So we thought we'd hit some highlights, have some talk about some favorite moments of 2019.
Right.
We kind of launched off into 2019 last year with something that we enjoyed doing periodically, and that's spending New Year's Eve at the Oregon coast.
Yeah, it was a really fun trip.
Yeah, it was really fun. We enjoyed it with some good friends of ours.
Shout out Crandall and Alyssa.
Yeah, and Darren and Chris.
And the various kids.
Yes, and lots and lots and lots of champagne and wine.
Of champagne.
Yeah, I think there were several cases that were...
I mean, there were 6 adults and 4 days? I mean,
yeah.
It's okay.
So that was fun. I can remember on New Year's Eve, I think it was New Year's Eve, that I probably started at 8 in the morning.
You did.
With a cup of coffee.
We were mimosa-ing it up real good.
With a cup of coffee in one hand and a mimosa in the other. And I probably didn't stop drinking champagne until later that evening. Word to the wise, do not mix champagne and cigars.
Oh, right.
You remember when we went out to the beach and we went and smoked cigars, and I just about lost my head and my lunch.
I do not. I do not cigar. But yes, I remember your nap.
Yeah. It was a self-imposed nap because I couldn't move. Something about coastal air and cigar smoking and sucking in that smoke. I was, needless to say.
Moving on.
Yeah. But that was a fun time.
It was a fun trip.
Yeah. And then
Good
you
way
kind
to ring
of
in 2019.
Yeah, you followed it up going to a place that neither of us had ever been before, and I can't actually wait to go. You went
San Antonio.
Yeah, you went to San Antonio.
I went for the Origami Owl Leadership Conference that they have every January.
Yeah.
And that was a really good time.
Yeah. Well, tell us a couple of little highlights about San Antonio.
Well, for one thing, it was great because I didn't have to stay in a hotel. One of our teammates, on our larger team, lives there in San Antonio, and she hosted several of us at her house. So we got to stay at her home, and she showed us all the fantastic restaurants and bars around, and so we were really given the special treatment. And the weekend itself was full of great classes and sessions as far as leadership and learning about the world of Origami Owl,
right?
Which I won't go into, but it was a really fun weekend with friends.
Yeah, well, tell us about the extracurricular activities.
Yeah, the river walk down there is totally worth exploring. Although she took us to, she really knows where to go for the great local cuisine, and so I was just treated to food that I've never eaten before, drinks I've never had before. I came home.
Was it heavily Tex-Mex type of food?
Yeah, very much. I mean, they're very close to the border of Mexico down there.
Right.
But so I came home. Okay, I got to learn how to make a michelada, which is the
and that's one of your favorite drinks.
Spices drink.
Yeah. So what's in a michelada?
A michelada is beer, clamato juice, lime juice, and then those spices, the tagine spice, and then the one of them is the Mexican soy sauce kind of equivalent, and then one is like a red pepper kind of garnish that goes around.
Kind of makes you want to
rim.
have one right now, huh?
Oh yeah, salty goodness, man, so great.
Yeah.
And
I can remember you coming back from San Antonio,
learning how to make
just
them. Yeah, thank you, Pinterest.
Yeah, double fisting those micheladas.
But I got the right ingredients to do it like the locals do, and I did it right. So
yeah,
shout out to Janie.
Yeah. So that was something cool that happened to you. You learned how.
It was a really fun weekend.
Yeah, you visited San Antonio, and then somewhere there in March we went to a something called the Pink Ball down in Walla Walla. That was a lot of fun.
Supporting breast cancer survivors.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was an auction.
Fundraiser, general tomfoolery. Somewhere along the night, somebody put glitter on my lips.
They did. In your beard.
Yeah, in my beard. That was thanks to Amy Vixie, and she's one of the founders of the Jugs
Just
group.
Us Girls Sharing.
Yeah, and they're the ones that put together the Pink Ball. Very good thing there in Walla Walla. You know, I came away with some artwork.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
I donated to the event. I donated a locket set.
Yeah.
For the silent auction. So
That's right. And that was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And then right after that, I took off for my first trip to Texas, where I went to South by Southwest in Austin. And I'd never been to Austin before. And that was actually fantastic. I love Austin. And
then we came up with our plans to tour Texas, right?
Right. I think what would be really fun is to fly into San Antonio, drive to Austin, hit Waco, so we could see the Magnolia Mecca of Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Thank you, honey.
That would be a lot of fun. So if anybody wants to go to San Antonio, Austin, and Waco with us, send us a note. Give us a shout out on Facebook or on our website. Send us an email. Any of our friends that might want to do that, let's make it happen. Yeah, because I know
I've got friends in Houston, but hopefully they could drive up and road trip weekend with us.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be a blast. And then really just kind of, life happened. Carter finished up middle school this year. Started his freshman year in high school. One thing that I kind of stuck my neck out on, thanks to you, was joining the Mill Creek Chorale. That was a lot of fun. I joined for their spring concert.
I'm so glad you did.
Yeah.
We've made some great friends already.
I had seen the previous year's Christmas concert of 2018. Which
was my first concert with them.
Yeah, and thought that was so fantastic. The group was fantastic. They sounded awesome, and naturally I wanted to be a part of that group. I love to sing, hadn't for years and years and years, and luckily I got in. And
I knew you'd get it
done. Well, so did I. Anyway, I've got 2 concerts under my belt. I know that the spring concert practices will start up here in late January, so I'm looking forward to that. And what's really exciting about these spring concerts is we're going to be doing, I believe, some Scottish and Irish traditional songs, some music from that.
Yeah, in preparation for our tour this summer.
Yeah, because we're going to be traveling to Scotland, Ireland, and London.
Yes, we're very excited.
And it's a choral trip, and so a lot of folks will be traveling, and we'll actually get the opportunity to sing in some cathedrals and churches over in Scotland and Ireland, and then.
And Carter's coming with us, so he'll obviously not be singing, but he'll be along for the ride, and we'll be able to just, tour these countries and see all these sites that we've never seen before. I'm really excited.
Yeah. We had a couple concerts this summer. That was a lot of fun.
We did. We saw ELO. That was awesome.
Yeah, Electric Light Orchestra.
Oh, we saw
the Rolling Stones. Yeah, that was kind of a bucket list concert for me.
I still can't quite believe we were there. And we had great seats, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Our buddy Vince Dean got us the tickets. He's the one that kind of facilitated that, and we went to the concert with him, and it was actually great seeing those guys in concert.
Yeah.
They still got it. So somewhere along in there, we took a Walla Walla wine weekend. We live in the Pacific Northwest, so if you're listening and you don't live in the Washington area, which I know we've got listeners around the country and around the world, actually, and Walla Walla, Washington
It's a worthwhile destination for wine lovers.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got, I don't know, over 100 wineries.
Yeah, 130, 150, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. So
our friends, the Isamuras, Jody and Jason, had never been over there.
Yeah, and so we actually took a trip over there on the 4th of July weekend, and actually were able to join our friends again for a 4th of July party at Darren and Chris's house. Yeah. So that was a ton of fun.
Took Jody and Jason along with us. It was really fun.
Yeah. And one thing that I'd never seen before is a barrel burn. And so it was pretty fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. Darren had bought a couple of wine barrels and started a fire in the middle of it and did these kind of really cool barrel burns. And once the first barrel was burned down, he set another one on top of it.
And the second one burned differently.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It automatically caught on fire because of the heat of the embers. So it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
So kind of after that, one of the big highlights of our entire 2019 year was our summer trip. And you were already traveling to Savannah for a conference.
Yes, Origami Owl again. That's our annual summer convention, which is the big convention where several thousand of us converge for classes and general sessions and speakers, and, motivational, rah, rah, rah.
Right.
And we learn about the whole fall collection live in person, get all these freebies. And
that's Jen actually hitting the new mic stands.
Yeah, I'm gesturing too wildly. Anyway, our annual summer conference is really fun. And so that was in Savannah.
Right.
And I had a great time.
And you've never been to Savannah before.
I hadn't, yeah. So I got there and had 3 days of conference before Jim and Carter.
Yeah.
You came into.
Yeah, well, we, Jen couldn't go over to Savannah and not us go over there and join hers. I was super jealous that you were going to be over there. But I also thought, well, if I'm going to go over the East Coast, my favorite artist lives in North Carolina, and that's Tim Lee. And so I got a hold of Tim. I knew he had an Airbnb.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, what would you think about Carter and I coming over, just hanging out for a night? And he also owns a really cool store called Oddco. I'll put the link up on the website so you can check it out. But it is a great
gallery / bar / store,
music venue.
Pretty cool.
So
I'm jealous that I didn't get to go.
Yeah, we've got to go sometime when you can actually join us. But we flew into Charlotte and spent a little bit of time kind of checking out Charlotte a little bit, and then drove to Pittsburgh, which is about half hour, 45 minutes away from Charlotte, where Tim lived, and went and hung out with him at his shop, and then spent the night at his Airbnb. Got to meet somebody that I idolize, and we actually have a lot of his artwork in our house. And the man didn't disappoint. He was a really nice guy. Really welcomed us into his life, into his
pretty
home.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we love you, Tim.
Yep, it was a really good time. And
someday I'll meet you.
And then Carter and I
road tripped.
Yeah, road tripped it down to Savannah. And I don't know if you folks have been to Savannah or not, but it is an amazing town.
Most haunted city in the country. Is that what they claim?
Right. Now, I couldn't verify that.
No.
I didn't go down that road.
We did a historical trolley tour that was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, we were gifted a couple of trolley tickets.
We were. That's right.
Yeah, and so we thought, what the heck? It's free. Let's go ahead and take the tour, and I am so glad that we did. We never would have learned as much about Savannah if we tried to do it on our own.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in Savannah, take one of the trolley tours. I think there's a couple of different companies that run trolley tours. There's multiple stops. I think our trolley stop had 20 different stops.
Yeah, that sounds
and
right.
you could get off on any of them and go jump off
back on.
and jump back on at any time and go explore around. But there were so many things that Savannah is known for that just kind of blew my mind. I mean, that's where Martin Luther King wrote his, I Have a Dream speech, was in the First Baptist Church there in Savannah. The famous scene of Forrest Gump sitting on the park bench waiting for the bus.
Yep, we saw that bench.
Yeah, that was filmed there in Savannah. A lot of movies have been filmed in Savannah, but it's very picturesque.
Very.
The newest Lady and the Tramp movie on Disney Plus, that was filmed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Savannah. Yeah, and
loved it there. Wish I could have had more free time there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we on the trolley tour, we actually went by this restaurant called the Pirates Restaurant, wasn't it? Pirates
Something
Restaurant, Pirates Cove,
Pirate King, or something like that.
Yeah, and anyway, the trolley driver was telling us that the term Shanghaied actually came from Savannah, and that Pirates Cove restaurant, or whatever it's called,
right?
Because it's been around forever.
Yeah,
and
clearly it was an old building because we ended up going there for lunch.
And there's this basement, infamous basement, where they would drug unsuspecting men, and they would wake up on ships bound for the Orient. Hence the term, they'd wake up in Shanghai. And
obviously they were smuggling there too, right?
Oh yeah, and then they were forced to basically work on the ships. And the only reason that they know, I don't know if it's the only reason or not, but one of the reasons they know that this is the case is they actually had drugged a city policeman.
Oh.
And
I remember more of this than I do.
Put him on a ship, and it took him like 3 to 5 years or something like that to actually make it back to Savannah.
Wow.
After being, forced into working on a import-export ship.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know. I'm probably getting my stories mixed up.
Let's make sure we link that restaurant, though.
Yeah. Pirates something.
I know, we'll find
restaurant. But it was great. I had some good old
Southern food. Yeah,
good old Southern really gumbo and cornbread,
grits. I had grits.
Yeah, some sweet tea. Oh,
I don't remember what
great.
else I had. Fish chips.
It was absolutely fabulous. I love Savannah. There's so much history there. The city is built around all these different squares.
Yeah.
With statues in the middle of them.
Planned city. I mean, how it's laid out.
Yeah,
very planned.
It was really, really neat. Lots of Civil War history there.
Mm-hmm.
One of the stories that the trolley driver was telling us that one of the roads is built on top of a graveyard. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah. And so as we were driving over these roads, he was bringing that up. And which, they say there's a lot of unsettled spirits because of the road being built on the graveyard.
There's just absolutely no comparison to that in the Northwest. That side of the country is obviously so much older as far as civilization or, United States goes. And
right.
So different as far as how much history they've got behind them.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I just want to point out that the episode name of this episode, which is episode 7 of Disturbin the Burbs, is Capricious Conversation. So if you want to look up capricious,
it's accurate.
Yeah, you can. It's like pointless and wandering.
Sorry, guys.
But
we got to do it. We're wrapping up 2019,
right? And we're regaling in the tales of what we did during 2019. I hope you guys have had a chance to reflect on all the different things that you have done in 2019 and have had the same kind of experiences that we have had. And if you haven't, now's the time, right? Now's the time to kind of
live it up in 2020.
Yeah, live it up in 2020. That's one of my New Year's resolutions, and I have one word, and I don't know if you figured out your word.
I have finally
for 2020, but my word is more, and we'll touch on that a little bit later. Okay.
But also, weren't we going to ask people to comment? Like if you see this post, if you see this podcast promoted on Facebook, post your top moments of 2019.
Right. Yeah. I'd love to hear what other people
like your top 3 or something
in 2019. Maybe some significant accomplishments, or if you overcame something.
Share your highlights.
Yeah. There's a lot happened for us in 2019.
It was a very busy year.
Yeah, it was a busy year.
We're about halfway through it right now.
But after Savannah, we continued on our road trip and drove down to Orlando.
Yes.
I had never been to Disney World or Universal Studios in Orlando, and so we thought it'd be really fun to go down there for several days. And
we made a family vacation out of it, for sure.
And boy, Orlando welcomed us like you wouldn't believe. We got down to Orlando, and it started storming like you wouldn't believe.
Crazy summer storm.
We got into Orlando, and we had gotten an Airbnb condo, which I highly recommend rather than staying on a Disney property. Yeah, you're going to Uber it a lot or whatever, but I actually kind of enjoyed being away from the parks.
Yeah, I think it was good.
But we ended up having to drop the SUV that I had rented off at the airport and then go to the condo. And we ended up getting this Uber driver, and he had a nice van, but he was probably this 80-year-old dude.
He wasn't 80.
I don't know how
maybe
old
60.
He was awesome. But it started storming, and you do not see this kind of storm in the Pacific Northwest. And if I can,
the sky was green, literally.
Right, it was a different color. It was blowing every which way. The rain was the hardest rain that I'd ever seen. I have never seen so much lightning in my entire life.
Yeah.
It was practically one bolt of lightning every second. It was boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, and he just kept driving.
I've got some video of it, and I'll try and remember and post it up to this episode's section page on our website. I'm going to take this moment to cleanse my palate here and take another drink. So, because that's what we do here at Disturbin the Burbs.
That's right. We drink and we know things.
Yeah, we drink and we know things. So we got to Orlando, and amidst the storming and everything.
Oh yeah, getting our bags out of the car.
Yep. I was absolutely drenched by the time I walked up to our actual condo.
Yeah.
But, hey, we don't need to deep dive into Disney World or Universal Studios.
We had a wonderful, wonderful family trip.
Yeah, it was a great time. And
Harry Potter, 2 thumbs up. That was Universal, but Disney World was great too. Just lots of walking.
Yeah, there was lots of walking. It's definitely bigger than Disneyland.
So much bigger.
So if you've never been to Disney World but Disneyland and you're thinking you're wanting to go, just prepare yourself for probably twice as much walking as you normally would do.
And don't go in August.
Yeah, don't go in August because it's hot as Hades. Yeah, it was pretty muggy, pretty hot. It was shorts and t-shirts the entire time. I
stopped bothering with makeup.
Yeah, you just kind of got to do that. But it was a really fun time.
Overall, it was wonderful.
I don't even really dwell on that so much as the fact that we had a great time as a family.
Carter was in a great mood the whole time. He didn't even mind giving up his video games. We had a great time together as a family, and that's what I remember.
Yeah, and that's what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah, for sure.
We did get rained out the last day at Universal Studios. Yep. I got absolutely drenched. If you guys have ever been to Universal Studios there in Orlando, there is a ride in one of the parks called, I think it's
something
Popeye and Bluto's Bilge Barge Blast or something. I can't remember. But there's a ride like this in Disneyland, or actually in California Adventure, called Grizzly River Run, where you're in this big, huge kind of round raft type thing, and you kind of go over these rapids, and you go down a couple of waterfalls, and you get a little wet. This one that looks the same in Universal Studios, you absolutely get drenched. And this,
I didn't go.
We actually got on this ride like towards the beginning when we first got there for the day.
Right.
Dark clouds were kind of coming in and whatnot. And Carter and I saw some people getting off the ride completely drenched. We were like, how bad could it really be? Let's go do it. So we go ahead and go on the ride, and much like we thought was going to happen, I was just absolutely drenched, and I was drenched to the core too. It wasn't just
you were just solidly, completely wet.
Yeah, it wasn't even. They have these stand-up dryers that you can.
Those were pointless.
Yeah, it was absolutely pointless. Luckily, I had brought extra socks with me. And I actually was able to put dry socks on, and. But then it just started storming like crazy, and it was raining, so it didn't really matter whether I was wet or dry.
We'd already had our Harry Potter day.
Yep.
So that was the third day, I think, the last day.
So we kind of went around. None of the rides were operating because they won't operate while it's raining.
We
unless
ran
it's
for the restaurants.
Yeah. So that was, but it was a fun time.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun time. The condo that we stayed at had this, what would you call it? It was kind of a club or something.
Yeah, like a swim club or a...
I don't know. It had a bar and a restaurant. It had a lazy river. It had a couple of slides.
The lazy river was fantastic. That's what I did most of the time.
So we were able to actually, when it just got too hot, we went back to the condo, got our swim trunks on, and went to the
swim club.
The swim club, and that was a lot of fun. So, anyway,
highly recommend.
Yeah,
just not in August.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. When did we do that? We did that at the end of July.
Late July, late and early August. First August.
Yeah. So the next really cool thing that we were able to do is we actually got to sing the national anthem at a Mariners game.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was kind of a bucket list thing.
Yeah, that's with the Mill Creek Corral.
I don't even know that I wanted that as a bucket list item, but
just to be down on the field in a stadium like that.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I never had been down on a Major League Baseball field before. Never performed. So this was actually pretty exciting. And our good friend Darren Smith actually had some sort of connection with the Mariners organization,
he's worked with them.
And was able to set it up that the Mill Creek Corral got to sing the national anthem. So that was really, really exciting.
It really was.
Once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. And then after that, that's when we hit the Rolling Stones concert. That's kind of in the chronological order of things.
Man, that was great.
Yeah, the Rolling Stones. And then we took kind of an impromptu Oregon Coast trip.
Was it impromptu?
Well, it wasn't planned.
We didn't, okay. Yeah. We just wanted to round out our summer, I guess.
I was just kind of like, well, normally every summer we go to the Oregon Coast with my family. Yeah, and...
So the Oregon Coast is the best.
Yeah. If you've never been to the Oregon Coast, get your butt over there.
Cannon Beach, man.
Yeah. Cannon Beach is one of our favorites. I love Lincoln City. There's a little town called Nesco that I love. Seaside is great. Kind of on the northern half of the...
Yeah.
Of the...
I do love Lincoln City.
Of the coast. But yeah, Lincoln City's great. But Cannon Beach is probably
Cannon Beach is number one for me.
Yeah. It's a little shishi. But it's fun. We have a lot of good memories there.
We do.
And... then Vince and I did a Gary Clark Jr. concert at McMinimans at the Edgefield Winery in August. What else did we do? We did a Halloween party in Walla Walla, which was really fun. You remember that?
Yeah, that was a really fun weekend. I actually had a costume for once. I'm not a big costume person, but I had just gotten this awesome army green or fatigue green bomber jacket, so I decided, okay, I'm going to be a pilot, an aviatrix. Yeah. So I got a pilot hat.
Yeah, found the little leather, old-fashioned, old-timey, the goggles and the pilot's hat.
Cream-colored scarf.
Right.
So I had a costume for once.
Yeah. I think, and I believe that was that Darren's birthday?
It was.
Yeah, out at the farmhouse there in Walla Walla. Great place to have a party. So guys,
and you were in costume.
So I got this really stupid ape mask and one of those, I don't know if you've seen them, but they're those skin tight bodysuits that you can get. And I got a purple bodysuit with the gorilla mask, and I was Grape Ape. So very corny.
I think people got it.
It was cheesy. Anyway. And probably half of you listeners don't even know who Grape Ape is, but it's a cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon back in the
age,
70s or something like that. It was I can't even remember what it was part of, but I just remember Grape Ape.
People liked it.
Yeah. So anyway, there was that.
It was a fun weekend.
Yeah. And that same weekend, guess what? We launched the podcast, the Disturbin the Burbs.
Same weekend?
I actually posted the first episode.
That's right, because you wanted to do it for Halloween.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We talked about spooky
shit.
Experiences.
Yeah, spooky experiences. So if you haven't listened to episode 1, hey, now's your opportunity. That's when we kind of launched this thing. So what was probably your favorite? What do you think your favorite highlight of 2019 was?
Well, probably the big trip, Savannah to Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a major experience for us.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I always love exploring new places. Wish we would have had more time in Savannah.
Yeah.
In that area. I love kind of American history and man, just coming down from North Carolina and making that trip. We actually stopped in Fayetteville. Remember?
We did?
Yeah. Well, that's where I have a cousin that lives.
You and Carter did.
Yeah, Carter and I stopped in Fayetteville, and because I have a cousin, Eileen, that lives there, and she saw that she saw that we'd posted some stuff on Facebook. And she said, "Are you guys anywhere near Fayetteville? You should stop in." And I was like, "Heck yeah!" So we stopped
Lunch
in.
with her.
Well, she was having brunch with some friends, and we found where she was at, and
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, and actually stopped in and got to spend a little bit of time with her. And Fayetteville itself is just full of historical, significance.
That's the part of the trip I missed out on. I'm jealous.
No, it was really
That's pretty cool that you and Carter got this father-son, experience.
Yeah, I thought it was great. We didn't get on each other's nerves.
Yeah.
And that's always the big
He was
plus.
awesome that whole trip.
Yeah, he was a good
We
guy.
had some great time together.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that's probably the highlight of 2019 for me as well.
Yeah.
But I can't actually go through all of these great fun things without acknowledging probably
low point?
low point in 2019. My mom's birthday was on August 19th, and I had called him up to wish him a happy birthday, or my mom a happy birthday, and they were actually driving in the car, and the next thing I know, I hear her. Lots of noise and commotion, and my mom screaming, and come to find out they got in a really bad car accident as I was talking to my mom on the phone.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there's nothing that I have ever experienced the feeling of not knowing what was going on.
Just panic.
I was at work losing my shit.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out if my parents were near death, if they were alive, what was going on.
Can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was pretty epic.
Yeah.
And that was my side. It was not even my parents' side of what they were going through. Yeah. I heard my mom, she thought that the car was on fire. She couldn't get out. I didn't hear my dad making any noise. All I heard was her saying, "Oh, Larry, oh, Larry, oh, Larry." And I didn't. So come to find out, they were actually at a stoplight. I asked where they were. She said, "Oh, we're by the Dutch Brothers." I knew exactly where they were, just very close to home. They'd gotten rear-ended, and
pretty badly.
But pretty badly, yeah. And so they were. They were able to get her out of the vehicle pretty quickly. Within 15 seconds, I heard a young lady trying to help her out, and then a cop was there very, very quickly. And then luckily, I heard my dad's voice and him saying something. And I thought, okay, thank God they're still alive.
Yeah.
And, I was scrambling. I called my parents' best friend.
Who's a nurse.
Who's a nurse, a retired nurse. And I tried to get a hold of my sister. And
she lives locally as well.
Yeah, she lives locally, and finally got a hold of her, sent them both to the hospital, did what I could when I lived 4 hours away, right? And so, you just kind of have to leave the rest up, to everybody else and everything else.
Yeah.
Come to find out, Mom was fine.
Just bruises.
The vehicle was totaled. The unfortunate part is that Dad, the collision, the impact, broke his back.
Pretty badly. And it was very, very close to him being paralyzed, and he was life flighted. Life flighted, is that a word? Yeah. Yeah, to Spokane. That's where they decided he should go. And long story short, this poor guy spent 3 months back and forth between hospitals. The initial surgery actually went fairly well to repair his back, rods and pins and everything like that. But everybody's emotions were very, very raw at that time, and spent time in rehab and outpatient facilities in Walla Walla. He got infections. He got infections in his back. His kidneys shut down. He got very close to death 3 different times. Yeah. And finally, 3 months to the day,
he was actually able to go back home. So we're very, very thankful that he came out on the other side. Now, this changed his life forever. He's not as active as he was.
He wasn't able to make it over here to Seattle for Thanksgiving, but they made it for Christmas.
Yeah, he was bound and determined to get over here at Christmas time.
Yeah.
And luckily, we have some comfy chairs for him to hang out in here. And it was great to see him, and great to see him as mobile as he was. But I'm just telling you, if you have, granted, I'm 50 plus. Jen's kind of around there somewhere.
I'm 48. Thank you very much.
All of our parents are kind of getting up there in years, and you take them for granted when you're younger, but when you're older, they become more and more precious to you. And I guess that's just kind of something that I came to terms with, through all of this is how much. How special my parents are to me.
Like I said on Facebook, hug your peeps.
Yeah, hug your peeps for sure. But we're on the other side of that, and he's healing, and hopefully everything's really, really good and will progress in the way that we hope it progresses, and he continues to heal.
Yeah.
And 2020 is a fantastic year for him as well.
Yeah.
So, Dad, if you're listening, just thinking about you, man.
Yep.
Yep.
Glad you're doing better.
Yep, absolutely. And it was great seeing you guys at Christmas. So
we've had a good wrap up to the year for sure.
Yeah. Another highlight, switching gears again.
Yeah.
Our chorale Christmas concert was absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
And that tied into...
And that was my dad's first concert with the Mill Creek Chorale.
Actually, yes. The fact that he had been to the concerts, he decided he wanted to join as well and was able to get in.
Yeah.
And
I was pretty proud of him.
My father-in-law and I actually sat next to each other.
Both tenors.
Practicing with each other, and we're able to share that kind of experience. One thing that we did do was we got to sing in Leavenworth, Washington. And if you're not from around the Seattle area, Leavenworth, Washington is this awesome Bavarian town up in the mountains, in the Northern Cascades, and at in the
Christmas
winter
time, it's brilliant. You gotta go.
They put lights everywhere, and every night they have, on the weekends, they have this lighting where they switch town lighting, and on the weekends it's just packed. There's thousands and thousands of people. And our choral group has been invited the last several years, I believe, to sing at the Christmas lighting. So I actually got to partake in that this year and got to sing in front of thousands of people. And it was an absolute blast.
It was my second year, your first year, Dad's first year.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. That was a great way to kind of wrap up the Christmas chorale season. So, hey.
Next year, plan to join us.
Yeah, right. If you can sing, join the Mill Creek
Or join in, just come up that day and enjoy the town and see us sing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here we are in 2020.
Can you believe it?
I can believe it. I'm actually looking really forward to what 2020 has to offer.
20 years ago, we were newly engaged. Wow. Oh, no, we'd been engaged for a year, and we were just waiting for our wedding that was just around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've been together 21 years now.
Yeah. Pretty crazy, huh?
It is, yeah.
So going back to kind of New Year's resolutions and that sort of thing, I don't really make resolutions. That's not really my thing. I always want to be healthier, which we've kind of jumped in with both feet again.
We have. We're back. We're really wanting to get back to the keto lifestyle, which we enjoyed.
We are keto disciples.
Yeah.
We learned about it a couple years ago. Did really good on it. Kind of strayed.
Year, kind of summer into fall.
Yeah.
We had a lot of success.
Yep.
And so we've been bound and determined to get back to it.
Right.
And I feel like we're making a really strong start.
One of the couple of big positives that we've gotten from keto is we pretty much cut out drinking soda pop.
Yep, I'm completely done with sugar soda.
We used to drink a lot of Coca-Cola. Haven't drank any Coca-Cola for
it's been a year and a half.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. I don't know, what else have we...
Well, I drink Zevia instead. It's sweetened with stevia. It's still soda. I love carbonation, but it's with a natural sweetener, and it doesn't, it's no sugar.
I drink the foul stuff that Jen can't stand.
Yeah, I don't.
Seltzer water, flavored seltzer waters.
Yeah, like the LaCroix type stuff.
Yeah.
And
I'm a LaCroix boy.
Gross.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a big ticket item. And also, I'm kind of done with Starbucks.
Yeah. You were a big chai tea latte
Yeah, their chai tea
consumer.
lattes daily.
Right.
Daily, at least once a day.
Right. Yeah,
if
no,
not
I know.
more. And
I know, I would look at the checking account.
A tall chai tea latte is 32 grams of sugar. Daily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for one drink. So to have not had one of those for a year and a half is a big accomplishment. I'm very proud of it.
Sure.
And
saved us thousands and thousands of dollars.
well, that too. But to be over that, I mean, I've got a sugar-free version that I make at home that I completely love.
Right.
And it's finding substitutes.
Yeah. And people might be interested in knowing what your recipe is.
I mean, I can share it if you want. It's Tazo tea bags. It's their vanilla caramel chai tea bags, and I make a batch of tea with that, and I add stevia drops for the sweetener, and then heavy cream, to however much you want. And it's warm, sweet, creamy, and it's just as comforting as a chai tea latte from Starbucks, but it's sugar free.
Yeah.
And I'll make you one anytime you want to try it.
So going back to kind of the New Year's resolution kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really do New Year's resolutions, but I thought of a word.
Yes.
I know
you've been
doing a word of the year for several years, and I kind of thought, well, maybe I'll think about that. And the first thing that came just right in the middle of my, head was the word more.
Yeah.
And that's not from a consumer standpoint, but it's wanting more experiences, and it's wanting to do more. I really kind of put myself out there in 2019 by joining the Mill Creek Corral,
right.
Starting this podcast,
yes,
and a number of other things. And I've felt like I've been successful at all of those, and I just want to do more of that.
Grow, do more.
And do more, have more experiences. We're going to be traveling this summer, and the potential of New York in the fall, and performing at Carnegie.
Yeah.
That's something that we really want to do. And so
2020 is going to be epic.
Yeah, 2020 could potentially be epic. And I think the word more is something that I can get behind.
I love that word for you.
Yeah. Fearless and more.
Yeah. So before I tell my word, just a little backstory. I've done Word of the Year for at least 4 years prior to this, and they've always been kind of business centric, persevere, organize, motivate, focus, similar themes of all these words.
Yeah.
And I decided this year it needed to be more about me. So I actually just drilled it down to the word self.
Nice.
And that can have multiple facets to it, whether it's self-care, self-discovery, self-starter.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of exploring all of that.
Oh, I really like that, Jen.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. No, that's good.
So that is me. That's my 2020. I'm going to be growing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait to see where that takes you.
Thanks.
Me with more and you about self.
It's all about me, baby.
Yeah. So, no, that's great. So, and everybody out there, I hope you've had a chance to reflect on 2019.
Yeah.
Share with us if you, feel like it, if you have the opportunity. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So, take a few minutes if you want to. If you have some exciting stories you want to tell or something like that, let us know. We'd love to have you in, to the studio. We could do a pint-sized podcast or a regular length podcast with you. Or if you want to do a phone interview, we're going to be set up to be doing that fairly soon as well. So we can do phone interviews. Cool. Yeah. So we'd love to hear how your 2019 was. Take the chance to reflect. And I hope everybody out there has a fantastic 2020. We're off to a great start.
Epic.
It's going to be epic. So, hey, hope you guys have enjoyed this little 2019 wrap-up.
Retrospective
of what Jim and Jen have been up to. And we look forward to sharing more fun times with you in the near future. Love you.
Love you too.